Welcome to 5 Talk Street. I'm Vince Sims. Before we begin, we want to acknowledge that today marks the 20th anniversary of the horrific 9/11 attacks on our country. Our 5 Talk Street staff want to let you, our viewers, know that we're thinking of the families of those who were lost, and we want to take this time to remember them as celebrations of their lives take place in their honor across the country today. And you know, after that tragedy, like we see after any tragedy, we see those who step up to help out those in need. And we'd like to recognize those when we can. Well, that's why we're also very happy to work with our partners at CitySquare, who offer hope on a daily basis to our neighbors, to those in need for the past 3 decades through their programs that provide food, housing, and health care as a workforce initiatives. Now, during this COVID-19 pandemic and last winter storm, they pivoted significantly to accommodate the rising needs in our community. John Seibert is with us today. He's the president and CEO of CitySquare, and we want to brag on you, John. So thank you very much for being with us. You recently were awarded D Magazine's Nonprofit Citizenship Award for Leadership. Congratulations on that.
Thanks so much, Vince. It's really good to be with you today.
Yes, and a great award and honor right there. So, you know, we all could use a little hope these days. So please tell us, what is CitySquare doing now?
Well, CitySquare has been around for about 33 years. We started in 1988 as a food pantry and have really grown into the organization we are today because of the power and the wealth of our neighbors. So we talk often about the wealth of the poor and really believe people closest to the problems have the best solutions. And so our proximity, our closeness to our neighbors and trusting them and their wealth and their wisdom has really launched CitySquare into so many different programs addressing issues of health, hunger, housing, and hope in the heart of the city. And so we're continuing to work in those areas and provide relief while also providing a pathway out of poverty into opportunity.
John, we're going to get into some of those programs in just a minute, but if you were able to estimate, how many people do you think that you've had an impact on?
So far this year, we've served over 25,000 people. Obviously, that number is going to continue to grow as we go through the year. We'll serve roughly anywhere from 35,000 to 50,000 neighbors in a year.
That's within a year, and you've been doing it for many years, so that's great work that you're doing there. Now, you know, we here at NBC5, we have a campaign called Fighting Hunger, and we know that that is something that you work towards as well. You know, tell us about what you do to fight that, and how have things been going lately? Are things getting better, or would you say worse?
Well, we're grateful for your partnership and your commitment to the fight against hunger. You know, it's been a really difficult year and really year and a half as we've gone through this COVID pandemic. When the pandemic hit, I would say we saw unprecedented need. About a third of the people coming to our food pantry at that time were first-time visitors to a food pantry. And so the immediate economic disruption really leveled a number of people, put a bunch of people in need all at one time. And so we saw really unprecedented need in 2020. That has leveled back out a little bit this year. And so we're seeing less need than we did, seeing people getting back to work, a few hopeful signs. But of course, we know this fall has brought some difficulties as well. So we continue to monitor the need as we meet it every day.
And with this, with your pantries and still doing that, you do a mobile aspect also? Is there kind of a delivery component to this?
Yes, our amazing team works in food programs in a couple different ways. So we have our food pantry, which is really our front door. And that team did an amazing job with the pivot that you talked about because of COVID. We're usually a grocery store. They opened that up to be drive-through. And so we continue to do drive-through food pantry. And then we have a really impressive mobile food delivery program that we do in the summer and after school. And the way school shutdown worked and remote learning and all of that, those kind of morphed into one throughout the pandemic to where we've done a mobile model, whether it's the school year or it's summer. And so we have amazing staff that go out into the community and take meals to the kids where they live. And so we're able to pivot to that actually earlier than summer because of the pandemic, but we continued that and did our regular summer mobile delivery as well.
Now, John, we know the pandemic shone a spotlight on a lot of things. Food insecurity is one of them. Homelessness, another issue that's coming up right now. We have the eviction moratorium is going to be happening. So talk to us about what CitySquare is doing to help those who could be facing homelessness.
Yeah, Vince, that's been a real issue. Normally, CitySquare focuses our work on the chronically homeless and on rapid rehousing for people that are experiencing episodes of homelessness. Those episodes have really got out of control because of the pandemic. There's a whole new population of people facing possible eviction and possible homelessness that usually wouldn't. Usually, their employment status allows them to pay their rent on a consistent basis, and that was just taken away by the economic shutdown. And so, CitySquare mobilized our resources and worked with great partners like the United Way, the Housing Authority, other partners, nonprofit partners in the community to be a part of a rental assistance collaborative. And so we're doing hundreds of thousands of dollars of rental assistance to prevent our neighbors from eviction. And that work continues to this day. We also, through our law firm, are representing neighbors in eviction courts to try to help get a moratorium, give them a little more time to get paid up. Eviction doesn't help anybody, landlords or tenants. And so if we can work the process to where that back rent gets paid and people stay housed, that's a win for everybody.
John, I know the great work that you do. It obviously takes money to keep that going. You have a unique fundraiser coming up. Tell us about that.
We do. We really have missed being with our friends and our neighbors. And so we thought that the greatest idea we could have for an event would be to throw a block party. And so on November 6th at the Empire Room, which is a great indoor-outdoor venue, we're going to throw a CitySquare block party where our donors and volunteers and neighbors and friends can all participate and come together to see one another, to celebrate life together, and to celebrate the great work that CitySquare does. And so we hope it'll be an investment in our work, but also an investment in community and a time together. So there will be food and drink, dancing and entertainment, and some profiles of our work. So we're really grateful to A&M Healthcare and especially A&M CEO Susan Salka, who is chairing this event. We're grateful for their sponsorship, as well as the sponsorship of Kimberly Clark and Tom and Karen Falk. So these great friends and partners have really laid the foundation for what we think will be a wonderful event, and we hope folks will join us.
And as you said, food, fun, music, but also another thing people like, silent auction. There's going to be some great silent auction items, right?
That's right. Glad you brought that up. That's a new component for us as well. And so we think that's going to be a really fun twist, and there'll be a chance for folks to bid on some wonderful items.
All right, John, we thank you so much for all the work that you're doing, and we appreciate you being with us today.
Thanks, Vince. We really appreciate NBC and all you do to further our work.
Yes, sir. I want to let you know, if you would like to find out more information about the CitySquare Block Party, all you have to do is visit citysquare.org/block party.